show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Count, always the best guests in Midwest. The Two Count, great time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet Phoenix and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the Two Count. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the Two Count, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Count.
The Two Count. The Two Count. Where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Good evening, good evening. I also want to just point out that our voiceover guy says everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tom. But Tom is also a comedian, for those of you who care to know that about him. And you know, he's kind of a pain, but we still enjoy having him with us.
I'm kind of a pain. This is This is why everybody always thinks that you and I don't get along, is because you're provoking me into saying mean things about you, JR, and I don't want to.
I'm not. Look, all I'm doing is telling the truth about things, and everybody knows. Tim Nella loves you. Tim Nella loves you.
Tim Nella is on Team Top Shelf always. Okay, and also that's a hell of another hashtag to use right there. Team Top Shelf Tuesday. It's getting ridiculous right now. too many hashtags for the old boy
Sin.
here, but
good to see you, Sin. I hope things are going well up there in the Northland. I'm happy to see you too. I don't know. You guys were down at a show for APW in Algona, Iowa last weekend. I'm assuming that it went super well because you guys are both back.
We didn't die.
it's true.
Could have happened, but we didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't, because the show would suck with just me. I mean, we already know that. Demolition Order for the Shelf.
I can't wait to be on the same cruise as you two in January.
Tom, Dan is going to stick that crutch right up your hinder.
When Tom's just drunk and doesn't even see it coming, just bam, here comes Dan. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious.
You know, even if I was drunk at that point, let's be real honest. Dan is not a subtle human being. I would pretty sure I'd be able to hear him coming. Just gonna put that out there.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, you know, whatever.
Is that all you got, JR? Come on, man. Like, let's bring some hustle. Let's bring some livelihood here.
I don't care to create any friction between you and our longest standing listener.
True.
Viewer. Whatever you want to call it. I mean, I don't. You do well enough with that. Dan hates you. He knows it. You know it. And there's no reason for me to stir that pot.
It's not hatred. It's.
Oh, sure it is.
We're frenemies.
Dan, is it hatred?
How about that?
Is it hatred? You hate
frenemies.
No. If he could, I'm sure that if Dan could trade off his crutches, etc., to you, and could walk despise. Oh yeah, see, there we all go. Oh, nice bourbon trip to Kentucky. That's good news.
Yeah, thanks, Sin. By the way,
she distracted us. Anyway,
apparently,
not to go too far, because we do have a fantastic guest tonight, and we're super excited to have him on with it. I'm going to turn it over to either of you gentlemen to give him the proper introduction that he deserves.
Ignore that. Ignore that message that just came to your
What
guys.
did you just send us?
Let's leave it up to the ring announcer over here.
Some show content.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'll load it up in a minute here, but we'll introduce our guest first. Yeah, I've known this guy for quite a while, actually, and he's made quite the name in the Midwest and just in the world of independent professional wrestling. Probably one of the better managers around in the game right now, I would have to say. Definitely takes care of his people. And also at one time was a great ring announcer. I've watched him ring announce before. I've taken a little bit of pointers and remember watching him commentary. He's done it all, ladies and gentlemen. The captain is coming aboard. Welcome, Captain Midnight Guthrie.
Oh, hooray! What a guy. Yeah, I'm not talking about you, Ace. What is this stuff? Probably one of the better managers around. No, BMITW, best manager in the world, pal. Okay, it's not just a hashtag; it's a lifestyle. It's good to see Tom. It's good to see whoever this dweeb is saying hello to me. John is exactly my kind of guy. This is my type of locale he's hanging out in. I'm so proud of you, man. Spending your winter where it's a little warmer.
And I got to tell you, Captain, Tom, the dumbass, was trying to get me to put some stupid Irish bar behind me.
He was.
Well, I appreciate anyone who's up for holiday thievery, Tom. But yeah, I mean, come on, man. That's. I mean, you look like you're trying to hang out in an. Is that your own bar setting? You and your two best friends behind you there, Tom.
Yep. You know, the big Lebowski here, and or the dude, if you will, he does abide, and then good old Sam Adams. You know. Yeah,
I hate to tell you, Tom, they don't have a pulse, man. Those
I understand that. I understand that. That's why this is just a at-home studio / office. You know, a lot like how you are set up there with all your decorations there, man. It's quite
captain's quarters here. This is truly where I hang out and live my life, enjoy my lifestyle, conduct my business. If anything, you should have pie. Okay, yeah, I'm not a math dweeb. Thanks, pal. So. How's everybody doing tonight?
It is Pie Day.
All right, there we go.
Well, good.
We are doing good.
What I was trying to get at when Ace said probably the best manager is I wanted to make sure he knew that I know that Captain Midnight Guthrie is the best manager. So I wanted to make sure that we were on the right foot here, but apparently no one else wants that to happen here. So what I want to know right off the bat, Captain, is are you having a good day today, though?
I'm having an outstanding day, Tom, and I do enjoy spending time with you. I do generally. So,
well, see, there you go. I appreciate at least somebody here liking my company. So I'll leave it. I'll leave it to these two idiots to ruin it later, and all. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay.
You know, I've heard some lame insults in my time here. I'm going to look right at the camera. Goro, well, I don't know what his name is, dumbass. That was among the worst I've ever received in my entire career. So bravo to you. You're worse than a 4-year-old child.
That's impressive stuff right there. Because I mean, he's as dumb as a 4-year-old as a 4-year-old child. That's for sure.
You know what my favorite is? My favorite is when I show up into a venue that is nowhere near a body of water, and then immediately people are like, "Ooh, is your boat outside?" No, moron. Yeah. I just sailed a boat down the road, right? Just took out all the municipal pavement and all that stuff and got here. Use some common sense.
I can get that with wrestling fans.
On my TV here, I'm watching the replay. Great commentary work by everyone. I got to be honest with you. Though, no, Tom, I got to point out he's the Dreamwave champion, not the Dreamweaver, pal. Okay?
Oh, damn.
Okay, but other than that, it's pretty solid stuff. But this death dealer dealing out the most underhanded tactics I've ever seen in my life. You know, we got screwed over on Saturday night. Typical behavior in Algona, Iowa.
Yeah.
Wild Cherry Pepsi shout out sponsored me like Zesties. I'm all fired up.
I mean, it was a close match. I have to say that. It was a good time to see Captain Midnight in Algona. Sorry, it sounds like you didn't really want to maybe be in Algona, but we appreciated you coming.
I got a lot of great memories in Algona, Iowa. Saturday night was not one, but I got to say, hey, shout out the Peps. Is that where we hung out at afterwards?
It is.
Terrific mini tacos. That was such a joy for me to eat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I saw that mountain of mini tacos you had, and I was like, "This shit looks actually pretty good."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got to see you down there with your boy Christian Rose, who was my first time seeing him live in action, and holy crap, I was impressed.
What a tan, huh? Just terrific. It's in great shape. Had such a great tan and an incredible wrestler. We've been friends for a long time. Always good to do work with Christian Rose. So, look how great my office looks on this screen. Look. It's as colorful as my personality. I love it.
You've got a lot of fantastic memorabilia on that wall.
Yes, thank you.
And I would love if you could give us a quick little tour of some of your favorite items up there.
Oh man, we don't even have enough time for all that here. But I'll point out some stuff. So a lot of nice signed stuff here. I got stuff from my childhood. That's an NWO belt up there. I got a 1, 2, 3 Kid hat over there. The original Branson Entertainer of the Year belt. And so I was presented with this bad boy right here. Look at this, 150 pounds of gold. That's how strong I am.
Ooh, beautiful.
Captain and Tennille on People magazine up there. Papa Shango, who scared me more than any man in my whole life when I was a child. I got a nice picture here with some fans dressed up as me at a Halloween show. I was dressed up as Barry Horowitz. We got my Main Event City welcomes you. Mayor Midnight Guthrie sign up there. We got a Bret Hart figure. Got some American Gladiators. Oh, here's a fun one. This is when I randomly ran into the Texas tornado, Kerry Von Erich, in a hotel when I was 7 years old.
Wow.
You can already see the muscularity starting to develop. That's my brother there, too.
Huge.
And they happened to have a house show in town that night, so we went. He said he was going to hold tickets for us. He must have forgot or something. I mean, obviously, he had some drug issues in that, and depending on how you feel, karma got him in the end, I guess. But, then we got, look at all this great stuff I have. I got a lot of great stuff. So.
You really do.
Let me,
Are we still selling the 8x10s that you got behind you there?
Am I? Or are they still selling?
Are you still selling those ones?
Oh, mine? Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. I've got this one here. That's definitely available. These are kind of in shorter supply, understandably. But if you like that picture, folks, I still have 1 or 2 of it as a mouse pad available that I use myself. It's a great mouse pad. If you ever want to run your hands over my body all day long, that's the thing for you.
I was going to say, do you ever have an issue with rubbing yourself?
Oh, I've never had an issue with it. I'm quite skilled, frankly. Up here, this is from my youth when I took on Bill Clinton when I was about 10 years old. Bill's a good friend of mine now. Tremendous guy. I love to hang out with him. If you're ever going to take anyone's sloppies, Bill Clinton, what an honor, huh? And then we got some great artwork from my kids. Now, this is like a 6-page color by number deal my kid did when he was 4 years old. Just a master artist already.
Wow, incredible.
Terrific.
Beautiful.
Incredible, as only the captain's children would be.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to turn the camera around because it might be tricky to set up in certain spots, but I got a whole bookshelf full of wrestling books and all sorts of stuff. So
beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I know that people are watching and they like to know what stuff is on your wall. I mean, they always ask Tom which one of his cutouts he likes the best. So
yeah. Oh, and then on this wall over here, I'm a season ticket holder for our local Des Moines Menace USL 2 soccer team. Go Menace, best team in the country. Oh my God, they're incredible.
Nice.
Big soccer guy. So
big soccer guy. So was that kind of the childhood for Captain Midnight? Some boats, some soccer, and some wrestling?
Oh yeah, no, that sounds about right. I mean, I fell into the love of yachting and nautical apparel, and it really came with money, specifically my in-laws' money. I married rich, so it really helped my bank account out. And you're just real good to your wife when you're in the same county with her, and it all works out.
This is true.
Smart man.
Words to live by right there.
We've got to kind of get a mission going here, everybody, to get Captain Midnight on the Jericho cruise. It would only be right
What's that?
Captain Midnight was on the Jericho boat.
Oh yeah, no, like as you see, I've got some great new customized hats here, and it's because if you look around the country, there sure is a lot of people popping up in captain's hats and rompers and what have you. So I'm always innovating, always evolving myself. So tonight I'm wearing my comfortable Casey Kasem t-shirt. Shout out Casey Kasem. There we go.
Keep reaching for
feet
the
on the ground and keep reaching for the stars, right?
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable. This is I almost feel like this has gone off the rails just through the introductory of walking through your office there, but I do appreciate it because again the memorabilia is, well, if you will, it's top shelf. I don't mean to make puns here, but it's some top shelf stuff there. I'm sorry, JR, you have a question? You have a comment you want to make?
Yeah, it's just always turn everything top shelf. Always in business for yourself.
Yeah, I used
not
to
business
live a
for myself.
Top shelf life. My life was so top shelf, I had to stop drinking altogether. I had a problem, so now I stick with my cherry Pepsi, my energy drinks, things like that. So
cheers.
Fair enough.
So Captain Midnight, I've known you for many years now. But you were well into the wrestling scene before I came across your world here. So how'd that all start out for you? Now, were you originally you get your start in Iowa?
Yeah, so I am a native Central Iowa. I'm very proud to be one. Still live here. I say I'm from Waukee. I call it Wowkee. It's one of the top 10 fastest growing communities in the country, and I'm a very proud resident of the area. And I legitimately, I talk about my $330,000 home, all that stuff. That's all real, baby. That's all real. Heck yeah. So yeah, go for the good Sober Crew people. Anyway, yeah, no, I mean, I literally don't remember a time in my life I didn't watch or like professional wrestling. I have pictures right over here from one of the first house shows I ever went to. I was like 4 years old. Got these pictures from the house show.
Look at that,
man.
Yeah, and then so I never remember not watching wrestling. I've always loved it. There's a point in life where a kid hits about 10 years old and they either fall more in love with it or they drop off. And I was in the 5% or so that fell more in love with it. And then I got involved in professional wrestling with 3X Wrestling in Des Moines in the summer of 2005. They started up and went to their first show. And shortly after that, I got in touch with the promoters there and started helping out with. At the time, it was like they still offered, they had programs with bios of the wrestler. And I went to college for journalism. I did some writing for them. And then I literally have done every job there is in wrestling. I helped with the merchandise, helped with the tickets, helped with concessions. I've done refereeing, run the sound, run video stuff. Been in the ring when I don't like to get in the ring much, but it's necessary sometimes when someone needs a good ass whipping. So. And anytime I've ever lost in the ring, it's for that generic old man, geriatric crazy bastard bushwhacker Luke beat my ass this past December. That guy shouldn't even be allowed to exist on the planet Earth. He's dangerous for us all. Get me all fired up about that.
All those heads he's licked, he's got to have a disease.
Yeah, and then the guy. Now he tells me, ever since COVID, I don't lick the heads anymore. I'm like, well, gee, you're going to throw everyone for a loop. We don't have a strategy against you anymore.
That's very true.
But then I got involved with wrestling through 3X Wrestling here in Des Moines. And then for many years, I eventually started doing the backstage interviewing and the play-by-play commentary and did ring announcing. And I did that for many, many, many years. And then I had about a decade into my career, I had a bit of an epiphany, like, come on, man, like this, I've been so nice to everybody and I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. The things aren't working out. So then, I started seeing things a little differently from a coastal point of view, and I started managing talent because I knew all the great talent. And now, I'm just bringing people to success. I would love to be with Omos. Come on, yeah. Who wouldn't want to be managing Omos? That guy's enormous. He couldn't even fit in this room.
This is true. Now, Captain, let's run down the list of some of the talent that the Captain's gotten to work with. I know there's some big ones in there.
You're just saying work with, right?
No.
I can't watch wrestling on TV now. And here's the thing, my kids are too young to realize this is cool. I can't watch wrestling on TV now and not see someone I'm actually friends with or got on my phone here or what have you. And then like you try to like show off to your kids, like, and they have no concept that this is unusual for a human being to be part of. So it does nothing for them. Nothing at all. So but they my kids aren't crazy into the wrestling, but they do like going to some of the shows with me. And they like, shout out to Adam Pierce, has treated us very well at a number of WWE events live in town, and we've had great seats, and the kids had a blast. So.
Nice.
But no, I've gotten to work with Adam Pierce. Bob Backlund put me in the chicken wing before. Let's see. Many Hall of Famers at the Hall of Fame event. I got to host a lot of the panels up there, do a lot of the events up there. Ultimo Dragon Sonny Ono. Sonny Ono kicked me in the head. That guy, what a shitty guy. What a shyster that guy is.
I remember that.
$50, I think.
I remember that night. I do.
A whole bunch of the people you've seen on TV now I worked with during the Independents. Seth Rollins specifically is a big one. Worked with him a number of times. A whole lot of people you see on AEW. Man, I feel like I'm definitely leaving some people out, and I don't want to do that. So
let me ask you.
Really got in my face once in a promo. That was pretty wild. So
you brought up Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
and I'm curious because I don't know how much time did he spend in Iowa as he was starting out?
So he got in about 2004. And pretty much from the start, he had some pretty good Midwest level success on the Indies. I mean, he was already like a top guy in AAW in Chicago in 2005, 2006. And really, he wasn't long for a lot of the feds in Iowa because he ended up going to kind of, not that we had good places, but he started traveling pretty heavily within a couple of years of his career. So. But yeah, no, he's doing quite well. We're about the same age, and I'd say he's doing pretty well for himself. Not that I don't have a great basement here in my captain's quarters, but that guy's in a little different spot today. So he was one of the first people in Iowa, I think, that owned a Tesla, actually. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you've had the family's pizza.
I'm not, but I know of it for sure. And actually, props to Mr. Rollins, is he's done a great lot of work to give back to his community and own businesses in his community. He owns a number of businesses in Davenport. So,
yeah, one of the comedy bookers down in Davenport. You do it at one of the I can't remember the name of some old mansion, but that's always the dinner. They always bring in Low Pies pizza.
Oh, there you go. Good, yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for stammering your way through that one, John. Really appreciate it. Now, obviously, Captain, you mentioned plenty of names there. Who's been your least favorite person in wrestling that you've met? And you can mention these two as much as you want, by the way.
Well, they wouldn't be these guys. No, God. I'm trying to think. I used to be one that would hold a lot of grudges and a lot of different heat with people. Then I stopped drinking so much, and I've come to try to make amends with everybody and all the great AA things. I live by that protocol. And I'm trying to think right now, like, I don't think there's anyone I have a legitimate issue with at this point in time. So I've caused a lot of issues for myself in the past. Yeah, I would admit that. But trying to think, I have a lot of professional issues with that Buns of Steel Jay Fowler. We still have a rivalry. He hasn't died. It might have died before, at the end of, like, when COVID started. But that guy, he still has illegal metal in his ass, and he uses it as a weapon, and I'm tired of it. He's probably my top rival in all wrestling, and I just can't. It makes me sick. And they won't even book me against some places because they know I'm just going to destroy him, ruin his good-looking body.
Oh, that's hilarious. So let me ask you, since you've done so much, Captain, like, do you have a favorite thing that you get to do? Do you look more forward to a night where you know you're going to be on the commentary booth? Do you look more forward to a night you might be in the ring or might be announcing? Like, is there something, being someone who's done like all the trades there is in this business?
I would say I definitely get the most hyped up for when I am managing at ringside still, because that's still a new, fresh challenge. That's kind of been something I've been doing just the last 4 or 5 years. Not that, I mean, I love doing commentary. I've done hundreds of matches, and the ring announcing's okay, but like when I manage, I take the microphone anyway. I speak on the microphone whenever I want. These goofs, if they're not buying anything in intermission, I'll grab the microphone and say, "You don't have the guts to buy my merchandise," and the dumbasses do it. What? It's incredible. What a business plan. So,
and the one of you almost naked, no less, too.
Yeah. That's a big seller with the 40 and 50 plus working women crowd, which is kind of my demographic for my love life generally too. But I've had people that work in medical offices put that up in their offices. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
That's what happens when you're an Adonis like yourself, my friend.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's amazing. That is so amazing. So what has been, let me ask you this then. What's been probably the most like embarrassing thing that's happened to you? Because I do think that there's been a few times that you've maybe been bested in the ring by some of these fellows that you've had to match up.
In controversial circumstances, and I know the numbers are against me there, but I mean, come on, the fix is in. There's too much home cooking in wrestling, so. And you might say, "Well, Captain, these are your home arenas too." I don't want to hear it. This month of December was a trying time for me. It really took a toll on my psyche, because in the span of 2 weeks there, Forte shut down, and they literally made me crawl on my hands and knees out of my own home arena. I was the one guy on the show that had been on the first wrestling show there 15 years before, and then I was on the last wrestling show there. This is this great building in Des Moines, Forte, and I literally was like just harassed out of the building. It was sickening. I got thrown over the top rope, and it was terrible. And then follow that up, I'm at Woolies in Des Moines in this who changed? But what are you talking about? Sorry, these comments. I just got to start mouthing off at some of these people. So
feel free.
This is exciting. There's a lot going on here. I like this. Anyway, so I'm at Woolies. I'm in the 6-man tag. I'm going to put the second oldest active professional wrestler in the world out to pasture like he belongs, send him back to New Zealand so he can do his sheep herding. And then the guy puts his ass right in my face in the corner of the ring. And I didn't think anyone's ass in the world could smell worse than John West, who I just smelled before that. But then Bushwhacker Luke, my God, I don't think he's showered since before the Cold War. It's ridiculous. And yeah, that's how I ended my December. It's and then I had to just reevaluate things. And luckily, I have the guidance of a great new higher power, my savior himself, Mr. Andy Williams. And hopefully, I want to help people out to the fall. These people in their lives, they have no decent father figures, and they deal with drunk people in their home, and their mom's just a disaster. I'll be your dad. I'll be your new higher power. Come on, people.
So you mentioned you enjoy being a manager.
So speaking of the title.
Oh, Tom froze.
What are you time traveling, Tom? What is going on here?
He's just like, yeah, I guess.
The captain's running with the fiber optic internet here. I got all sorts of screens flying with the internet. I think I'm doing fine. Come on, man. Get on my level.
Get on his level.
So, Captain, you managed that being a manager is one of the things that you love. Have you ever been paired with somebody that maybe didn't turn out the way you wanted it to?
Oh, yeah. I would say that happens pretty frequently, honestly. So, I mean, I do my part, and then some of these people have got to do their part and not lose. That would just really be beneficial to my paycheck. So, but no, I've had people that I thought we would work well together, and then for various circumstances, it didn't quite work out. And then I've had people I thought would be a total disaster to work with, and then man, a little bit of magic happened. So I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus necessarily, but it's
yeah.
But yeah, you never know what to expect when you go out to a wrestling ring. Anything in professional wrestling, anything you have planned, it never goes quite that way. That's what makes it wild and crazy and fun.
So what does it take to be part of Captain Midnight's gang here? Like, what do you look for when you're looking for some people you could represent?
Well, honestly, a lot of it just takes some intelligence on their end to want my representation, and there's an opportunity to make some money for everybody around. But I'll if you're willing to take me on, and you should, because you'd be dumb not to. I manage just about anyone, the worst talent, the best talent. I'll try managing anybody.
So you'd even try managing Tom.
Well, Tom's not a wrestler.
You know what?
But Tom can hang out on the yacht anytime. You know, it's winterized right now, but Sailorville Lake, I got my yacht out there. You can come hang out anytime, Tom. Tom can get on there. So
I appreciate that. I don't know why JR keeps talking.
No, we need someone to help tell the people where to go.
Luke Raven has a question.
Now, Luke Raven. Now he's one of the promoters I work for. At Madhouse Wrestling, I do commentary there. Love doing commentary for Madhouse. Check them out, people. Ace does the ring announcing there. But Luke Raven is a co-promoters of this Malice down there. One of these guys who's managed to both promote and win the belts there. It's a fiasco. It's a fiasco of a man. He's a drunk. He's an idiot. And he pays me well. So shout out to Malice. But the room is not tiny. I'm big. I got a lot of personality. I just got a lot of cool stuff to show off, and I like the view.
Yeah, Luke, calm down. All right.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Who was that making a reference to Vern Gagne there? How are you even alive to be able to get on this device?
JJ's a real one. He loves his Vern Gagne.
Oh, he loves Vern Gagne.
JJ, I believe if he could have married Vern Gagne, he would have, because he loves Vern more than anyone that I've ever seen, has more references. And it seems like, I mean, if you would listen to JJ, Vern Gagne started the NWO.
Yeah.
I don't think Vern Gagne was smart enough to do that. So.
Well, you know what? We're going to take your word for that one. And I'm sure JJ is going to have some words for you as well, but that's a whole different story.
I want to say, while we're talking about the Gagnes, I got my Greg Gagne action figure here.
Oh,
holy cow.
Greg Gagne, incredibly underrated as a wrestler. I really liked him and Jim Brunzell as the High Flyers. And I think people thought there was some nepotism there, but really Greg Gagne has shown over time and footage that he's actually was a terrific professional wrestler.
That's awesome. So like when I mean that's some old school stuff, the AWA, Jim Brunzell. Like, so like how far back do you go as far as wrestling? Do you remember watching? I mean, you said you remember just watching, but I mean, is there like?
Oh God, when I watch wrestling now, I go further back in time probably. So
right.
No, I watch more stuff from the 70s and 80s that you can find than I watch a lot of. I still watch a lot of current stuff for sure, but yeah, I watch a lot of older wrestling. So.
Damn, you might see JR in some of those crowds.
Possible.
Yeah, he was an old Central States fan.
Yeah, I grew up down in Des Moines and Bulldog Bob Brown and
yeah. When I talk to people in Iowa and they find out I'm involved with wrestling, they either bring up Harley Race or Bulldog Bob Brown, because that's who came around here. And yeah, Central States used to come to Des Moines once a week, clearance through like 1988, and people love their Central States wrestling. And I go to Kansas City. I used to go there a lot for wrestling shows, and that's where Central States was really based out of. And they love Central States. But if you watch it compared to any of the other 30 territories in the country, it was really pretty bad professional wrestling. People loved it. So God bless them. So
now, Captain,
not a crowd that thought he was entertaining enough to just watch them years and years and years and years.
So Captain, we have a question here. Since you live down there in Iowa,
Yeah.
we got to know: have you ever heard of this delicacy of sprinkling Nesquik chocolate powder on top of snow
On top of
as a dessert?
Oh, and then eating it?
Yes.
I'm not that familiar with it, but that would be delicious.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Oh, Tom, suck it. Suck it, Tom. Suck it.
Hold on, poor JR. Just relax, okay? I want to make sure he knows the whole story about this. So JR here is so poor and ignorant that his family thought a delicacy would be just grabbing a whole bunch of snow in a cup and then throwing some Nesquik on top of it. You say it sounds delicious. Now I'm kind of doubting your world-class abilities here of anything,
I know you live
Captain.
in Minnesota.
I do.
I grew up in Iowa.
Like
Tom is an idiot.
That in order to survive, you have to eat snow.
Well, you can just let it melt. Or if you're going to eat it, just eat it. You don't need any Nesquik with it. You don't need chocolate powder with it.
Listen, I'm a guy that's too good and too talented for a lot of things, but I'm not too good to eat snow, Tom. Come on, man.
I'm not saying I am either. I'm just not going to try and pass it off as a dessert like this poor idiot has, okay? That's all it is. I'm not trying to even start a war with you here, Captain. I'm just trying to make sure that JR knows that he is a poor child. He's a poor man now, and he needs to have better things in life, okay? Strive for better.
It's on a beach somewhere.
True.
Yeah,
some people listen to and think, it's kind of glitchy. That's just the wind battering stuff around. He's living it up.
Sure.
If he turned his head more to the side, you'd see his ponytail flying in the wind.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All I know is
you need to strive for better is what I know.
Well,
Go ahead.
No, I don't need to. I have achieved better, and you continually try to rag on me for stuff that's in the past.
Again, JR, try to raise yourself up a level or two, okay? I mean, we all know you'll never be top shelf.
Ooh,
but
Tang and Snow. That sounds like that might be good.
Oh, yeah. That's
Dan, fucking, I got an Iowa bum and I got a Wisconsin bum here trying to talk about this kind of whatever mixed with snow. You're both idiots. I don't appreciate it. I should sign off right now.
No. Okay, feel free.
No. Okay.
Tom?
Yeah. Settle down, Tom. Settle down.
Ace doesn't want me to leave because he knows who the draw is around here.
Let's get back. No, you can go if you'd like.
Now you're changing your. Oh, okay. I see how it is.
I'd like to get back to the show and not talking about the snow cone that JR used to eat. And I have to ask, Captain, what makes good yacht rock?
Oh, my God. Whew. Oh, man. What makes good? Just soft, mellow, light rock. You really have, first it's got to have a smoothness to it, right? It's got to have like a smooth but a discernible beat, really make you feel kind of relaxed, but also with a semblance of that, this is some cool stuff played by cool people. They got a great mustache or great beard. Their shirts open up. They got some chest hair going on. But generally they sing about love or lust or smooth times. Ambrosia is a great yacht rock band.
Yeah.
I love Ambrosia. So Christopher Cross, is my guy. Here we go.
How about Little River Band?
Oh, Little River, they're a good one. Yeah, I love them.
They're right in that wheelhouse, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you have an opportunity, folks, there's a great band out of Omaha called Pet Rock, and their whole shtick is they just play yacht rock music in concerts.
Oh, that's amazing.
Dress up and everything, and they are terrific.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I gotta see that.
I mean, you think you're sitting there listening to Orleans right in person. So,
Air Supply. Yeah.
Yes, I love Air Supply. I got them on vinyl upstairs.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's
Jeez,
horrible.
how did they not melt before they get to prison?
Yeah, that's true too, right? Did we see this? Do you have any favorite memories of announcing at 3XW?
Oh man. Oh God. A lot of terrific matches. I got to call a a lot of great Jeremy Wyatt matches. If you've never watched Jeremy Wyatt, you've got to check him out. He's probably the best professional wrestler in America. Him and the time Tyler Black went to a great 30-minute draw. That's still on YouTube, actually. He had some multiple Iron Man matches with Mark Sterling, not the one on AEW now, the original fitness freak Mark Sterling. So many memories of 3X Wrestling. That's where I got my nose broken by Ricky Kwong. 3X Wrestling, stomped my face right into the mat. Had to get a bunch of surgery done. That's my original home wrestling, and I still do a lot of work there. So
that's awesome. Again, you've been at it for a while now, and you've done a lot of different things. So, what have been some of just your career highlights to this point that you would look back on?
Absolutely, being part of the NWL down in Kansas City, which was an effort made. They had some full-time employees, and they put on a tremendous weekly professional wrestling television program that in Kansas City, when it was running, actually was beating some of the WWE broadcasts, like Raw and SmackDown some weeks, just in the local area. Like many things in wrestling, the investor got a little too financially big for his britches a little bit there and what have you. But for a good 2 years, it really gave a lot of guys great experience and full-time employment. And I was brought in there to do all the ring announcing for their TV tapings and some of their house shows. And that was such an invaluable learning experience for me. That had come from spending a lot of time down in Metro Pro Wrestling down there. And then eventually I went on to Journey Pro from there in the Kansas City area. So Kansas City is actually my favorite town to do professional wrestling shows in, even though I'm from Iowa. But what else? I've had a lot of great experiences going up to Waterloo for the Hall of Fame event and worked with a number of great talents there. I absolutely love in wrestling getting to go work shows at county fairs because you never know what you're going to see or what to expect. And it is wrestling in its purest form. You've got people that maybe aren't familiar with your particular wrestlers, and they figure out very quickly who they want to boo and who they want to cheer for. Though people boo me all the time, and it's such a misunderstanding because I'm if you want to look at good guys and bad guys, I have the best intentions of anyone that goes out there. I'm just there to make some money, pay my rent. There's too many people involved in wrestling that aren't in it for the right reasons. They're just there to play grab ass, think they're on some Cirque du Soleil theatrical show. No, you show up to a wrestling show to make a livelihood, to put some food on your table, make your car payment, and win some championships.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, talking about those kind of fans that boo you, let me ask you this in your career, Captain. Have you had any weird interactions, crazy interactions with fans, since a lot of them tend to not like you?
Oh, God, I don't know if anything's a normal interaction with most of these people. I've had women harass me. The things women have done to physically assault me by a wrestling ring, if the roles were reversed there, they'd have me in jail. And then I've had fans get physical with me. Sometimes you just gotta push them back. This is life. You get pushed on, you gotta push back a little bit. But yeah, I've had stuff thrown at me. I've been hit on the ass a number of times. Little bizarre children come up to me that clearly are just like looking for a new stepfather, and then I see their mothers, and I'm like, oh God, no way, kid. I had a kid Saturday night hand me a hotel key card to sign, and I signed it. And usually I don't do that necessarily, but I told the kid flat out, make sure you tell your mom I'm not coming over tonight.
Well, that's good because I saw that crowd in Algona, so it's a good idea to not.
Yeah. Now, if I had seen his grandmother, that might be a different story, but I don't think she was there. So.
Hey, we all have our things, Captain. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Mel McDaniel once sang, or Roddy McDowell, excuse me. Older women make beautiful lovers. Older women, they understand, right? So you gotta.
It's true.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you bringing that up. I guess JR does too. But
this is great. All right, so Captain, we're gonna get into a couple of our little segments that we like to do with our guests.
Yeah.
The first one is we're gonna just ask you. We always say this is rapid fire. But it doesn't always tend to be because sometimes we get slow with it. But we're going to just ask you random questions. Just answer it. Maybe related to wrestling. It may not be related to wrestling.
Okay.
And it's more it lets the people get to know you a little bit better aside from the stuff we've been just having conversation about up to this point. So we'll start with Tom, then JR, and then I will go. And here we go. Here's our first round.
All right, Captain. So looking back all the way to high school for you, what was your favorite song or band back in the day?
Ooh, man. Like back in high school?
Yeah.
Ooh. What was I listening to there? Well, about the time I was in high school, the great poet Juvenile had Back That Ass Up going on.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah, I graduated in the early 2000s, so I was a late 90s, early 2000s guy. What was I listening to? Quite a wide variety of stuff, really. So, as with anyone does when they're 14, I liked the Insane Clown Posse for a time. So, they were wrestling guys, right? So,
woo woo.
Yeah, you don't need to admit that though. So, but good for you. We appreciate it.
They still do good things for wrestling. I remember on my old computer, on my 56K, tie up the phone line modem, I would download MIDIs of South Park clips, early South Park, and then combine them with ICP songs. And it was like, man, that was the mashup of the time, man. I was ahead of my time. So
you were.
Wow. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. As an Iowan, who is your favorite non-wrestling Iowan?
Ooh, favorite non-wrestling Iowan? Oh, probably. Oh my God, there's so many. There's so many great Iowans. The great I really looked up to for many years, still do. The great Fred Hoiberg. He was a great basketball player at Iowa State. Went up to the Timberwolves for a time, and when he was at the Timberwolves, he had a season where he was by percentage, the top 3-point shooter that season. Granted, he only had to put up about 3 a game, but he made 2 of them every time. So, really like that. We have a great history of musicians in Iowa. Des Moines had a great opportunity of becoming what Nashville ended up becoming because we had this incredible entertainment coming through in the early 1940s. We had major theaters and things like that. And then they just made a few wrong business moves at multiple levels, and it kind of fell apart for Des Moines. So that's really too bad. But yeah, no, the great Andy Williams from Wall Lake, Iowa. Of course, I like him. The Everly Brothers are from Shenandoah, Iowa. God, if they were a star of the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they hung around Iowa. It was a simpler time.
Or died in Iowa too, but
Oh no, they made so much money they got the hell out of the state and died elsewhere. So.
I'm talking about Clear Lake, right? Come on now.
I see what you did there. Yeah, plane crash. Yep. So probably the best thing that ever happened to some of their careers, really, for the longevity part of it.
Big Bopper, probably.
Big Bopper probably weighed the plane down too much. That was probably the problem there.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yep, Slipknot's in Iowa as well.
Slipknot is I have a lot of respect for them. Just not my style of music necessarily, but
quite different from the yacht rock. What is your favorite movie?
Oh my God! So I love The Jerk with Steve Martin.
Yeah,
incredible movie. Slapshot, the old hockey movie.
Hey, JR.
I don't have it in this room. I have a Charlestown Chiefs jersey.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God, you guys get dressed as the
I love the original National Lampoon's Vacation. That's a good one. A lot of I love watching just terrible B movies from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. So it's I try not to get too classy with the cinema.
That's a good point. All right, so you mentioned Forte. Is that, or do you have a favorite venue that you ever worked in?
Probably my favorite venue ever. And it was a big, from a physical building standpoint, it was a real shithole. You can curse on here? Sorry.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you're good.
Absolutely.
The original Des Moines Social Club was a building that is generally it was completely like after wrestling was there, it was completely razed and then rebuilt. And I think Microsoft owns the building now or something, but it was this old building in downtown Des Moines that a local arts group called the Des Moines Social Club ended up getting hold of through grants, and it was always kind of shady fundraising. I don't understand how it worked, but they had this big open black box theater space that they allowed wrestling to come into, and the seats for about a year were literally just as many office chairs they could find donated as there was. So there were like people on rolling chairs and stuff like that. But yeah, we had some wild times in there because they had a crow's nest you could do the commentary from, and it was like it looked absolutely incredible on video. So
That's awesome.
That's cool. The original Social Club. They actually had a newer one that came about 5 years later. We also did wrestling in that also looked good, but that was quite a bit nicer. So.
How far have you traveled from home for professional wrestling?
I have driven with me and 3 other individuals, 2 of which were over 300 pounds in my vehicle from Des Moines out to Atlantic City, New Jersey. So.
Oh my God!
And I always remember because in the span of a day, you could make it from Des Moines, the center of the country, and make it to literally the ocean on the East Coast and do it in less than 24 hours because we did it in like 20 or 21. So
dang.
That was the furthest I've driven. I've been down to Florida, but I flew down there. So
yeah. Okay. What is the things that Captain Midnight does after show is over? What's your like wrap down from a show?
Oh, it's not as exciting as it used to be now that I have children and don't drink and things like that. So, I used to just terrorize cities, and I'm lucky I don't have more of an arrest record than I do. So, it's not clean by any means, but it could have been much worse. So, honestly, so I like that's when I, depending on who I travel with, I'm either pointing out the fallacies of their drunken arguments or educating because a lot of the people in wrestling now, I'm in my late 30s, are younger than me on the indie level. So I spend a lot of time kind of just educating kids about wrestling because a lot of the people coming up in wrestling now were never even alive when WCW was a thing, right?
Right.
So all they know of wrestling is WWE and then what they've come upon elsewhere. So I spent, as you can tell, I talk a lot. So I talk at people a lot. Maybe they listen to me. They should if they know what's good for them. But after shows, I love to just buy. I'm a big fast food connoisseur. I mean, I'm an athlete, as you can tell clearly, you know. Yeah, I try to, and it's tough to find late night food. Post COVID, that's one of those things that hasn't really come back. You used to be able to eat just about anywhere, and now you got to be kind of picky. But I love listen to my music. Or we watch bizarre YouTube videos. Like there's this dude I like in Australia, Drain Addict. You ever watch him?
No.
He's just a plumber, just clearing out drains and stuff. It's incredible. He's really good. Or I like watching local news bloopers. That makes me laugh and keeps me awake at night. So it's good.
Nice.
You're an eclectic man, my friend. So you mentioned fast food connoisseur.
Oh yeah.
What's a lowdown for a good stopping place on the way home from one of these shows?
Well, if it's fairly local in Iowa, just around Des Moines, we have a chain called Bebop's. It's kind of like our version of In-N-Out Burger. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible burger place. But I like Culver's. Culver's is good. They're not open all that late. Sometimes your only choice is McDonald's. But that, depending on where you go, that could go either way, really. You know.
Right.
Casey's Pizza is always terrific.
Yes.
Big supporter of Come and Go, and we call them quick stars down here, but they're quick trips elsewhere.
Yep.
So,
yeah. I got all the reward memberships. You're silly. If you go to a gas station at all, you got to join their clubs, man. Come on.
It's funny how true that is.
Yeah.
It really is. Oh, that's great. JR.
Yes. So how to put this? Do you hate the golden boy Bryce Jordan, and if not, why not?
Do I hate him?
Yes.
I would not say I hate him. Do I find him annoying at times? Yes. Yes. I told him so much. Yes.
JR, you got to let it go, man.
Well, I mean,
Not
he can be
happening.
a whiny little bitch sometimes. But
See?
have you had an altercation with him, JR?
Twice.
Oh,
A
okay.
couple.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear that. But
Yeah, Bryce has been on here, and they don't get along, and he's also kicked JR twice in the nuts. Yeah.
I appreciate he's come a long ways. For the longest time, and I told him this, like, I didn't think anything he did in the wrestling looked terribly impactful, but he's done a much better job now. He's put on some mass, and he's become quite a professional wrestler. But yeah, he's just can be, long hairs in general I struggle with sometimes. So it's just young long hairs and.
What about old long hairs like JR?
Well, I don't mind old long hairs.
See?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to port this wedge between us, Tom?
Well,
Because I think I can.
When have you ever met an old man with long hair that wasn't kind of cool to hang out with, though?
That's true.
Tom?
That's
See?
true.
And eat ice cream with chocolate on it.
Oh, you said ice cream, but you meant snow, jackass.
Like, you're not going to go, I'm not going to hang out with Ricky Morton and Jimmy Valiant or people like that.
Real quick, though, since that was brought up, JR, you should probably
don't do this again.
Bro, if we win tonight,
Wait, we gotta play on JR now. We gotta play on JR. Big win, gotta make sure to take that guy down. Okay, so he's just a stupid idiot. So I mean, it's not gonna take much to take him down. Right? I mean, old fuck, write that down. Old fuck, write that down. He can't do anything to us. So like, what's next? What's next on this?
Well, I mean, we got absolutely a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, absolutely a couple weeks. We gotta start.
I mean, that's the whole.
Guys,
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey guys, what's up?
what are you doing?
We're talking about JR's downfall. What do you mean?
Yeah, dude. Old balls, JR.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah.
so
hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Dude.
We gotta.
Dude, go start the car.
Yeah.
What the fuck you doing around here?
I'm gonna start the
Yeah,
car.
you're supposed to start the
I will. I'm gonna leave you here.
Anyways, so like.
Because that one, honestly, at fucking the Thunderdome, that
Oh,
was so
fuck.
crazy. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
So good. We gotta find a way to trick him again. I mean, it's not that hard. He's stupid, old, fuck.
I swear to
So,
God, he's like dementia or something. So, all right. So, obviously, absolute possibility.
absolute possibility.
We got Madhouse.
We got my house.
I mean, so that's back in Knoxville and shit. That old fucker. I mean, because I know every time he goes to Knoxville, he starts thinking about, like, oh, we're going to put some fucking Nesquik on our snow cones. Like, oh, okay, whatever, dude. That's not even dessert. What an old asshole. All right, so old fuck, JR. Oh, you know what? Dude, top shelf, baby.
Top shelf. That's all you need in life.
That's right.
Get it at the top shelf.
Hashtag top shelf. And, the tippy top shelf, baby.
Alright, we got a plan. We got to take him on that next Absolute show.
Oh, yeah.
But tonight is a party.
Fucking
The
celebrate,
boys
baby.
won.
Boys won.
Woo!
Okay, so my understanding is Bryce Jordan is trying to instigate a feud along with Tom with JR.
Yeah,
this correctly.
yeah, he likes picking on Grandpa, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I just don't understand. Like, it seems like weird professional goals to have. I just don't understand this at one bit.
It's in it. I mean, I don't want to take away time from you, Captain, but you've been so cordial to come in and be on the show with us. But they've also recorded the other two times that Bryce Jordan kicked me in the nuts, and they continually play it. And then Tom has the nuts to tell me I should drop it.
You should, dude. Listen to the words of Captain from earlier today, man. No hate in your heart. You can't have hate in your heart, dude.
I don't have hate in my heart. I got hate in my balls. Is where they are.
Well, then
look at that. Is that Bryce Jordan's even commenting here? So, and I just gotta say, I'm on Team John here. I think John needs to teabag both of you.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, Bryce Jordan, I see he's attempting to grow facial hair. I mean, it took me 27 years or so, but his facial hair right now looks like Magnum TA's after the car crash.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh. That's a deep
Lord.
old one's right there. I appreciate that one. Also, thanks everybody for getting us into a hype train.
I'm going to have a conversation about this because he's wasting his professional time and efforts getting into the squabble with you two, and I don't understand why you guys are squabbling. How are you going to be a successful business venture if you're squabbling with each other?
See, someone's finally making sense.
Shut up, Ace.
Ah.
But it's true. It's true 100%. I was never able to express it the way that you have, Captain. And Bryce Jordan should leave me the fuck alone and concentrate on his wrestling career.
Yeah, whip his ass. He's going to hit you over the head with a light tube, Bryce Jordan.
I want to make sure this is pointed out, by the way. We got into a hype train. It's doing quite well. So you guys all just do your thing. We appreciate it, obviously. But it didn't start until Bryce got in the chat. So, I mean, he kind of is bringing this along here, JR. So you should probably thank Bryce for this.
I should not thank Bryce. He hasn't donated fucking anything.
Oh, geez.
And
I mean, he subscribed to the channel.
Midnight. I mean, I don't like that he's attacking our guests right now.
I don't either. This is the whole thing. And
yeah, Bryce is bringing the vibes, dude. Come on now.
Bryce, I mean, in wrestling terms, we have a similar philosophical point of view here, Bryce Jordan. Come on, work with me, brother.
All right, let's get back to what matters, and that is our Q&A. We're gonna go one more round with Captain
Bryce Jordan, anyway.
And then it is time for Captain to play the Tom game here on the 2 Count, guys. Yeah. So, Tommy, one more.
All right, Captain. What's a bit of advice you would give to anybody who is starting in the business, either in commentary or ring announcing, manager, or wrestlers themselves? What's a word of advice you want to give to anybody looking to get in?
Watch as much footage as you possibly can from the past, not just what's on TV now, and watch it with a perspective of why they're doing the things that they're doing and how does it relate to the entirety of the show or that particular point in the show. There's a lot of people that get involved with wrestling and then you realize they don't really understand the purpose of what it is we're doing in different moments too. So there's got to be a purpose to every move you do out there. So, hi, Malice. I said all the nice things about you earlier. Great. Thanks, boss man.
He did. Very true.
All the nice things about Malice, not about Luke.
Oh, I like Luke. Yeah, I mean, he's not big and drunk and a promoter with a championship, but I love Malice. You pay me well. Thank you.
JJ, we'll take questions.
And I got to say, hey, coming up here, at Madhouse, we got a big rematch. Chileo getting their rightful shot back at their tag team titles against, I don't know, the Whiskey Dicks. Yeah, that says it all. Justin Decent and Malice, big tag team title, anything goes match. And it doesn't get much more extreme and hardcore than Max Chill and Gable Galileo. So it's been a great career, Malice, but I'm glad you're going out with these youngsters putting you down for the count.
Yeah, we also have a really great main event that night as well.
We got people asking questions.
Oh, let's go.
Some questions.
Yeah,
Who's in charge of this program?
They actually got to write them in there so we can get them asked.
Write them in. We'll pop them up.
Spelling counts, people. I'm watching.
Yeah, spelling. I'll ask you one quick one again on our little round robin here. The outside of wrestling, what do you like to do to relax?
Ooh, man. If I have time to relax. The McRib is great, JJ. Well, all the old stand like I was hanging out with my kids, blah, blah, blah. But I do enjoy, I play a lot of FIFA soccer. If anyone plays that online, I'd be happy to crush you. I love listening to music. All sorts of different podcasts. I still claim to be a runner, though I haven't actively gone running in a number of years, maybe. But I still, I'm the best long distance runner there is in independent wrestling.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's a thing. So.
We've had a former guest, Darren Corbin, who might actually have you beat.
Yes, yeah. Now he didn't used to be a runner, but he is now, and he's a great runner and a man I've managed before. A longtime old friend of mine, a big fan of Darren Corbin. We've been at it about the same length of time. So.
Well, heck yeah, that's good to know then.
Great guy. Actually, last time I managed him up in Minnesota at a place. It was French Lake Wrestling, and that damn James Jeffries screwed us over, as he does all the time. He and his long hair and his good guy antics, clapping hands and using the powers of the dead Von Erichs to pull one over on people. Jesus Christ.
That's right. That's tricky James Jeffries.
There you go. A 3. Best AWA champ not named Bockwinkel. Who owned the Chiefs?
The best, Bockwinkel was the best, so you're right about that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Vern. He was the other champ most of the time because, that limits your options down. But I want to say Rick Martel was a pretty good champion in his time.
Oh, yeah.
Belt. Stan Hansen was too, but then he got pissed off and ran over the belt with his car and took off. But yeah, it basically was just Vern and Bockwinkel for most of the part of 15, 20 years. So.
Yeah,
it was for quite a long time. All right. You got your question out there. So I'll ask one more, and then we'll do the Tom game. Captain, I want to know, as a fan of pro wrestling, do you have a favorite moment that you can look back on, just not in your career, but just in the world of pro wrestling? Do you have a moment?
Oh, man. They say a lot of, like, the wrestling you watched as a kid is what you consider, like, your favorite stuff to watch. And, like, there are so many moments that were just aired on, like, Superstars in the early 90s that I vividly remember watching as a kid. Jake Roberts' Cobra biting Randy Savage. He's all tied up in the ropes. I was terrified and so scared of the Ultimate Warrior was locked in the casket. And then none of the wrestlers are coming out. They were sending the staff guys in their suits. Like, what the hell are they going to do? And then Roddy Piper has to show up and try to save the day. But the man suffocated in the casket. And then Papa Shango making people throw up. That was always creepy to me.
That and the feet fire. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Bret Hart was very much my champion as a kid. I was a bit of an undersized youngster. And I was all about this. Suddenly, I didn't know all the steroid troubles and all that going on. But all of a sudden, this guy, that undersized dude's winning the belt, and he's letting anyone challenge for it. Dan Skinner got a title shot. It was ridiculous. I think he gave Virgil a title shot. It was like he'd fight anybody.
Right.
But, yeah, and then just watching all the stuff live as it happened with like the NWO developing and WCW, and then watching Raw at the same time. I used to be one of those that would like either flip the channel or have two TVs by each other. So I feel very lucky to have grown up the time I did as a wrestler.
Yeah, man, I agree. That was a good time. That was my era too. And it was good times. All right, Tom game time.
Oh yeah, the Tom game, it's coming. Boom. We don't play that enough.
I love that graphic. What a graphic.
Very
You're
expensive.
not wrong.
Had cool music with it. Yeah. Got me
So,
jazzed up for this.
Cats, I'm glad you're jazzed up for it. So obviously you read the graphic, you know what this is about. So of the three of us here as the co-host of the 2 Count, you're going to pick one of us to be your tag partner, one of us to be your opponent, or one of us to be your manager. Now, this is obviously not in a perfect world, because if you only had 3 of us to pick, you'd probably pick me for all of them. Oof. You have to, though. It's part of the game. It's like that old game, F, Marry, Kill.
Opponent something, or I'm killing one of you, or I'm not going to fucking do it.
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. So again, it's like that game, but just one of us is your tag team partner, one is your opponent, and one of us is your manager.
Okay. Well, you just want me to choose right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Well, Tom, you can be my manager. You've got a loud mouth to you, and it would distract people well enough. I could get in from behind on them. I'm going to take John as my tag team partner, and then I'm just going to have to whip Ace's ass, I guess.
It's a valid choice.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's because, Ace, I heard you the other day. I've watched the footage back where you were saying all these people taking the mic from you tonight, but you felt more intimidated by Diamonds and Violence than Captain Midnight taking the mic from you. What the heck, man? I'm an athlete of the highest magnitude.
You are, because you threw one hell of a pass when you tossed the mic back at me. I wasn't expecting it. I caught it. But it was a good toss.
You always got to be ready. You don't know what I'm going to do.
This is true. I apologize. You're very, very intimidating when you take my microphone. It does scare me. So sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Plus, I think I could take Jack. No, I can't. Never mind. It makes sense, though. It makes sense. Who's the other people that picked me? Was it Malice wants to beat me, too? Later, JJ.
Let's see. Yeah, actually, Rabbi Jeremy Fine was the last one to pick. Or no, I'm sorry. No, Lars Metzger said he would kick your ass. Obviously, Sage Hale.
Yeah, Lars and I, we're friends. We've done business together. So.
Yeah, the revolutionary Bill Williams. Justin Decent.
Okay. Yeah, I've had a lot of squabbles with Justin Decent. He's been slamming me around and things like that. I don't really appreciate it. So.
Well, so also I want to make sure this is very well known that Ace is wearing the Nerd D Club shirt there. And Nerd D, when he was first on the show, has said that he would pick Ace as his opponent, along with Billy Starks and AJ Smooth. There's a 3-week run there where Ace was everybody's top choice for opponent. Okay. So
the Billy Starks.
I gotta be honest, this is a lot of good company. I've known
AJ
I've known for years and years, and Billy I've known from her rookie year in wrestling, and what a talented crew.
Yeah, and Malice also picked Ace as his opponent.
Now, Malice, though, he was probably drunk, and he looked at Ace, and Ace kind of looks like Ugly did when he had hair, and he probably thought, oh, that's my old rival again.
Or he literally just thought it was a squash match. So
if you get a chance, folks, go back and watch. Ugly and Malice had a great rivalry of matches.
Yeah.
It's been 5 or 6 years now, IPW, but go watch the footage. It was outstanding. So
and go to it's Algona Radio YouTube. If you type in Algona Radio on YouTube, you'll find their channel, and you can watch the Absolute Pro Wrestling show from this past week. You can see Captain Midnight down there in the ring. Again, had to deal with the Death Dealer. That's a tall task. That guy is a monster. And you can hear Tommy on commentary and me doing ring announcing and commentary.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a great fun night in Algona. Thankfully we all made it out alive. Lord knows that no one wants to die in that town. So it was good to see you on Saturday. It was good to have you here, Captain.
Well, yeah,
I appreciate you at least.
Are you running me off?
No. If you want to hang out. We are gonna.
What are you doing? What's the next segment here? I can hang out if you need me, or you can kick me off. I don't care.
No, you are more than what we. If you want to stay, you can stay, my friend.
It depends on what you're talking about. I get
we were
about a lot of things.
Well, okay. What do you guys want to talk about then?
A lot of Mania news coming around right now, guys. A lot of Mania news coming around. Big thing is Bray Wyatt going to be at Mania?
Is or isn't?
Is he? No one knows.
I've been hearing not, but that's just what I've been hearing because it sounds like he's having issues with creative, or he's also possibly hurt. So I don't know. It's very tight-lipped over there at WWE now.
That's a big call they're gonna have to make on the fly now, right? They've Bobby Lashley up until this last week was still saying all things Bray.
I mean, I guess if Bray is not involved, I mean, what I'd love to see, if I'm honest, I'd love to see Bob Lashley go back with MVP and assist Omos in beating the hell out of Brock Lesnar, because I love Brock Lesnar, and making a whole big deal out of that.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask you this.
I love Brock Lesnar. Oh my God,
right?
He's terrific.
Midnight. Let me ask you this. You kind of my era type of guy. You came up in those early '90s, as far as WWF. What do you think of a 2-night Mania? What do you how does that feel for you? Growing up with the Big Four and seeing the evolution of the pay-per-view for WWE, very, those Big Four are still big to me. And I think I feel Mania's lost a little bit of something since it moved to 2 nights.
It's still a major deal, but I prefer the 1 night, but I totally understand from a business standpoint why they've gone to a 2 night, because if they can fill the same stadium twice, I totally get that. Plus, it's so strange, it's weird to fathom a time when anyone else would even run it, like even independents would run the same night as a WWE pay-per-view, but now you've got with IWTV, which unfortunately be on a ton of shows on there, and all sorts of streaming services, Fight and what have you. Even the nights they have a WWE pay-per-view or AEW or what have you, there's multiple other wrestling options. It's just a whole weird little ecosystem we have now. But I prefer like the 1 night Mania, but I understand it, especially when they were going to where like they'd start the pre-show at like 4, and then you'd have Mania run to 11, and then it was quite a stretch. But in regard to Bray Wyatt, and I don't generally try to comment a lot about booking stuff at WWE, because frankly, it's one of those things like at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily greatly affect the happiness of my life in any way. But I do think it's strange that, was it just 3 or 4 months ago, they essentially main evented a pay-per-view with him literally just making an entrance. Mm-hmm. And it was such a major thing. And that, like, that momentum has just really curtailed here. He just entered into very strange feuds. It would seem and no offense to LA Knight or anything like that. I think he's a talented guy too, but I thought it was strange that Bray made this big re-debut, and then suddenly I don't know what happened. It's like they didn't. It's like there was a very unclear path from that point on with what to do with him. So.
See, you brought it up actually, because I want to touch on this, because I had mentioned it going into that Mountain Dew Pitch Black match with LA Knight that I don't see this working out for really either one of them coming out of it. And I mean, these two disagree with me, so I want to make sure it's out there that I was again right. But
maybe though the rumor.
Hey, now wait a minute, Tom. The time will tell who's right in any of this, really. But I mean, I thought. I will say, as a marketing move, that worked on me even before the match. I was already drinking the stuff. That stuff is delicious.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not. And my co-host on commentary for the Fort Dodge show, Badger Calhoun, was actually such a mark for it. He literally showed up that night with a bottle of Pitch Black on him. So it's not a bad marketing scheme at all. But what I'm just saying is, coming out of that match, going into it, I didn't understand it. Coming out of it, I was thinking that, again, no one was really going to win in the initial. You're right. Time will tell as far as the long term. But as you even mentioned it, though, neither one of them is really looking great right now.
Happy birthday, Shanky.
Happy birthday, Shanky.
Yeah, birthday,
Shanky's in his 30s now. He's a grown man looking to do grown man things, and that's what we're going to see him do next week in Waterloo, by the way, everybody.
And I'll be on that show in Waterloo as well. So come see me.
Yeah.
Come see me in Waterloo. Come see the Shank's going to challenge Matty Starr, a longtime business partner of mine. I don't do business with him in APW. So far, he's proven he doesn't even need my help. He's such a dominant champion. So good luck to you, Shank, in Waterloo, kind of hometown area, vying for the title, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's going to work out for you, but it'll be a good match.
It's going to be a great night of wrestling, guys. So make sure you get your tickets. Waterloo, Iowa, 1 week from this Saturday night. Tom, there was a pitch for Stone Cold Steve Austin in LA Knight, and if the money is right, it could happen. So he may still come out clean.
Okay, now let me just back you up here a little bit, because that's going to be the what chant versus the yeah chant. So that might be the most annoying audience of all time, back and forth with what, yeah, what, yeah, what. I mean, come on now. It's
Clint.
Yeah,
Clint.
right. Who's on first, huh?
Right,
What?
right. Clint Dye with comment of the night right there.
Clint Dye, tremendous photographer. Good work out of Clint Dye. Yeah, no, that's a high compliment, Clint. I don't think I'd go that far myself, but I certainly pattern myself in a way like Bobby Heenan and Jimmy Hart and Jim Cornette all combined into one. With try to have as much athleticism as Bobby Heenan. He was more of a physical working manager, and I respect that. So.
Another thing that was revealed last night was Edge versus Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell, which is super exciting to me that they are bringing it to WrestleMania. Boom. And the actual premium live event, Hell in a Cell, is bye-bye.
This is true. Yeah, it's going to be a good match. That'll just be fun. Do you guys think we'll get to see the Demon Paint come back out at Mania?
I hope so.
It could be. It could be. It'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun if they let Finn do that. I don't know if it would go with the whole. I mean, it doesn't matter with the group that he's with. So
well, he did.
I hope they film it and put it up somewhere. I would like to watch the logistics of how they're going to have the cell hanging above, because they do those big open stadiums at Mania. So I just want to see how that works.
Dude, that was my same question going when I went to Miami for 28. I was like, how are they going to have the cell up? But yeah.
In terms of the Demon Paint, I will say that there was, if you watch it back again, there was a little Easter egg where Finn said, "I have my own demons to deal with." So Easter egg, I hope it comes.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it would be nice, mostly because we need to see it. It is his big match feel, if you will. So, you know, if you got a WrestleMania match and it's Hell in a Cell, that's when you bring back the Demon, man. You have to. And I know it wasn't Vince's favorite, but you know, Vince isn't around anymore, right? Right?
Yeah, sure. And he ends Edge. I like it, Bryce. I like it a lot. I am excited for this Edge Never Dies. It kind of does seem that way. Dude, that guy is he was always just still good. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see how it's all going to play out, though, because like we're going to finally see like hopefully Owens and Zayn, and then the Usos, and just the whole bloodline thing, Cody. Like, I'm pretty excited for Mania. Last year wasn't as much. Obviously, the pandemic year was kind of like, how's it all just going to work and stuff. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this year's Mania. Edge won't end until SummerSlam.
How do you feel about Sammy shaving his hair?
Yeah. Got to change it up a little bit, right? Now that he's not with the bloodline.
Yeah. He doesn't look like a Muppet anymore.
Well, it is a more militant look, if you will, right? So.
Oh, Sammy the Muppet.
Now, before SummerSlam, I think, is it in May or June, they're having another big Saudi Arabian show coming up. Mm-hmm. They're doing King and Queen of the Ring there, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have a queen in Saudi Arabia? I didn't think they allowed such a thing. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They add them to harems. That's all they do, actually. When they call them queens, they just add them to the harem.
Winner gets to show their arms off. That country, what a mess.
Oh, my goodness.
Also, HCW, gingers we don't make bad choices. Everybody just believes that they know what's better, and they are wrong. Right, Ace?
Yeah, 100%.
It's the only thing we agree upon is that y'all just hate gingers for no damn reason.
There's no reason for this.
I know. Team Fancy Ketchup, we still exist, baby. Shut up, JR. Come on, man. The one time I tried to form
dude, I'm just laughing because I noticed the pinky up, and I'm like, what the fuck? When did I miss this gang sign?
That was always a part of it. You really don't remember that?
Yeah, pinkies up. That's the whole slogan, baby. It's like Team Fancy Ketchup, pinkies up. I mean, come on, dude.
How'd you last this long in radio, bro?
He doesn't pay attention to half the things that were going on around him anyways. I mean, come on.
No, I don't. Why would I?
The pinkies was part of the bit from the get-go. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know.
It's in Canada. What city? Montreal, Toronto? I guess it'd have to be probably Toronto for SummerSlam. Unless they want to go out in the prairies of Winnipeg. AEW's pushing up real hard this week for everything in Winnipeg, huh? Jesus.
This is true. We also, it's official too that we're getting the 6-way tag match with the ladies, right? Damage Control as well as Lita, Trish, and Becky. I don't know why I was blanking on that.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
Well, my understanding, if any of it's to be believed, is that Trish would like to go against Becky ultimately. And I think that'd be super cool. Because I like them both. I mean, it's weird because, you know, from what we've heard, this whole thing has been so drawn out with Trish to get her back to wherever, and it's always hard because you never know what's going on behind. But I'm happy that she's there. I mean, having seen her at the Hall of Fame last year, she's certainly, you know, seems like she can still do whatever she needs to do as well as Lita. So, I mean, but it's just hard to tell what'll work.
Shank not digging the Lita.
Yeah, last being with Trish at the Hall of Fame last year, she's clearly still in great shape too. So,
yeah,
that's very true.
For sure. You know what was cool was the fact that she like watched a lot of the show while she was here for Hall of Fame.
If he's still on here, I know she was a big fan of Bryce Jordan. So I mean,
she was that.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. I mean, Bryce wouldn't shut up about that on the weekend. Which why would he shut up about that, man? An all-time legend is saying, yeah.
Just makes JR even more mad now.
It doesn't make me mad. It just makes me think she must have looked at his hair and thought, oh. It's very similar to mine.
You know what, JR, you're going to talk about hair and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, if I'm just going by your hairstyle and Bryce's hairstyle, you look like you could be his grandfather or probably great grandfather. You're old.
What are you out of your fucking mind?
Maybe it would make two of us on the show now, wouldn't it? You seeing that old coot? That's probably going to get us cut, by the way.
Thanks for calling me a coot. Because God knows that's relevant.
Oh my gosh!
There's an up-to-date insult.
Hey man, I'm trying to keep it a little bit classy around here. Go old school with the insults, man. Why not?
Yeah. How are you two planning to do the stand-up show together?
Oh fuck! I forgot about that. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything back. Have you heard anything back from Cosmo?
No, I think he was still planning on May 20th though, because I was going to be out of town, and I have. Well, May 13th we have what is it? Absolute that weekend. Big Aaron, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it.
Big Aaron, let me ask you this, Captain. First of all, do you enjoy stand-up comedy?
Oh, I do, yeah. And I actually have, it's so funny that there's a pocket of friends from wrestling in Illinois that also do stand-up comedy. So shout out to them. We got Ryan Zeekshi and Stumpy, hell of a wrestler, great comedian. And I think Coach Havens, Cole Havens is doing it. So shout out to those guys. So if you need comedy bookings, talk to my friend Ryan Zeekshi, who runs Zawa Wrestling in Illinois too. So he books comedy shows too. So
Captain, are you familiar with Marty DeRosa?
Yes. Yep. Yep, I know.
I got to work with him.
I don't know him, but I know of him. So
yeah, okay.
But
Shank, there is always free shout outs. Shout out to the Shank. See?
Shout
Shout
out
outs all the time.
Shank. We
Now,
doubled
I
up on
think-
happy birthday.
I don't know if he'd ever do it. I think Shank would be a tremendous stand-up comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we've talked.
Well, what about you? Being the job you got there, Captain Midnight, you have to be good with the improv, I feel.
I've never done stand-up comedy, but I think I would be great at it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to be that guy that's like, oh, I'm going to come out and dominate this field. And because I've heard of a lot of people that think they're going to show up to wrestling because, oh, I can be the manager. That's so easy to do. Or I can be the referee. That's so easy to do. And then it's really not. So, but I would think at some point maybe I'd like to try, I don't know, some open mic thing or something like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of options in Des Moines for those type of things. So.
Yes, there is. I know several people. JR knows a lot more people than I do down there. But also, you mentioned being a referee. It's not that easy. Shout out to Chris Hansen on Saturday, pulling the whole nighter by himself, man. And he was working hard, man. Like he was being manhandled by some wrestlers, getting the JR treatment there too. So
throwing him out of the ring there. So
Matty Stark kicked him in the balls.
What?
Well, allegedly.
Well, I mean, he did it at the end of the night, though. The Wanderer, man, he was trying to cost everybody business there. That guy's nuts. I mean, you can't trust a man that walks around with license plate stuck to his body. So
you're not wrong on that, Captain. You are not wrong on that. Yeah, it would be fun to try to have like a nice comedy show that's just comedy wrestling. You know what I mean? Because it is those. I mean, the whole thing of this show, Captain, is JR was a comic. I've done, wrestling stuff and radio. We're both radio guys. So it was kind of the bridging of wrestling and comedy because they're very parallel.
yes.
We, making towns, playing clubs, doing shows, just the business workings of everything. We've come to learn they're very, very similar worlds.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I found in life everything's pro wrestling in some way, and most of the time, pro wrestling is the more honest business. So, with most things I've found.
You're not wrong in a lot of aspects, that's for sure. All right. What other questions can we capture here? I realized that was just like all of a sudden dead air. I had nothing to back it up with. I apologize.
Like breathing in like you're gonna say something and just
I had nothing. I was really hoping like in that middle of that deep breath something was gonna come to me. So
oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I failed that one time on this whole show. I apologize.
We can run back the tape. I mean, everything's recorded, Tom. We can. I mean, if you'd like me to go through and find all of your faux pas.
I mean, it's about time you do something with a video.
We could probably have 2 hours worth.
I loved it on Saturday night, Tom, because Tom likes to make fun of us if we speak like an idiot because we couldn't get words out correctly.
Yeah.
And I did that on commentary, and then instantly Tom was like, "Oh yeah, welcome to speaking English there, Ace." And then the next sentence, he just fucking fumbled everything, and I was like, "What was that?" It was just instant karma. It was wonderful.
Sometimes when you're in live entertainment, things don't go the way you want them to, and that's a moment right there. And I apologize. See, I'm a bigger man about this. You guys are just being petty little children about this. I've owned up to my mistake, and I apologize. Does anybody have a question for Captain that we can move on with this whole night?
Here's one. HCW would like to know where you got the hat, Captain, and I know that you have those available for the public.
Well, I do have nothing quite like this. This is a custom job I had specially made for myself. I'm not going to reveal all my secrets, but I will say there's a direct correlation between I have a cowboy hat as well, between some of my gear and that you would see at bachelorette parties and the companies that provide such a thing. So, but I do have hats available if anyone wants them. Just go ahead. You can message me. I used to have a store all set up, but I recently actually took all that down, so people can just message me directly or see me at shows, and I'd be happy to sell you a hat and sign it and all that too. So they're big sellers, my hats. So they're guaranteed to get you laid.
Did you make the debut of the pink one this weekend? Was that the first time?
I have worn it at. I did the ring announcing at a Mid-Death Pro event in Des Moines recently. So its debut was at a no ring wrestling bar type show.
I saw pictures and video of that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, sorry, I dropped something. What was that like? I've never. Did you? In case you guys didn't see, like literally, they just did a wrestling show in a bar and just cleared a center space, and that's where the match happened. There was no ring or anything.
Yeah.
It was crazy. What was that like? Because I was I was like, how is this happening?
Wrestling's at its best when it's a spectacle, I think, and I'm not someone who would necessarily watch like the no ring wrestling stuff, and that's kind of a trend. It's on video, but man, being there live and being part of that, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's just watching two dudes throwing each other around, throwing weird weapons at each other and stuff like that. And I had a great time. I was, as one does, I was cracking jokes over the top of blood and violence. So it was there were some fans that were stapling bills to or giving bills out for the wrestlers to staple to each other, and I thanked them for the tips. I thought it was a nice gesture. So.
I mean, it can be, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I have a lot of friends that do. It's a whole different mentality of humanity to do the deathmatch type wrestling. They're like the last outlaws in the Wild West of the world, I think. So I don't even understand it. I don't understand how their bodies can deal with it. But some of my best friends, Bogat, Deathmatch Daddy himself, he loves this stuff, and he's constantly in aches and pains. And I hear about this. And that guy, I think if any part of the body can get hurt, it's happened 3 times to him. So he's still walking. So it blows my mind.
That is insane. Shank, that sounds like right up your alley there. That's just a fight. Oh, good Lord.
Now, to Shank, I got to tell you, though, there were actually some pretty good wrestling moves that were done in the confines of this bar. Particularly Mad Dog Conley took a 300-pound man and was gut wrench suplexing him, and that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a bar. You just don't do that too often. So.
Oh, that's insane, dude. Wow. Okay, my computer's freezing here for a second, guys. So, hang on.
You're not frozen over here.
Yeah, I don't know what's doing it.
What?
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
No, it's better. It's working again. It's working again. So you've been to how many shows have you been to? You think live and Midnight? What has been your favorite live show that you've been at?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like I've just gone to watch or been part of.
No, that you went to as a fan. Yeah.
Oh, as a fan, was it 2014, the Elimination Chamber up in Minneapolis? I went up to that show. It's the one literally the night before they started the network the next day.
Yeah,
that was a really memorable one to go to. I had a lot of fun at that one. I went to WrestleMania a couple of years back when it was their first live event they had. I only went to one night of it down in Florida. It was the first live event they'd had in.
Oh, is that coming out of pandemic, right?
Yeah, over a year or so. And so that was like a fascinating, it was one of those things where it was always like a bucket list thing to go to Mania, and I happened to be working shows down there. And because of the circumstances, not as many people were coming out. I was able to actually get a pretty cheap ticket. And I thought, well, this is kind of a once in a lifetime thing to go to this cheap. The parking almost costs as much as going to the stadium, but it was really interesting to take it in that huge of a setting. I wouldn't say as much as the wrestling was as memorable because it's just everything's so far away, but just seeing a whole football stadium set up for a wrestling show was pretty phenomenal.
So that was your first Mania?
What's that?
That was your only Mania you've been to?
Yeah, it's the only one I've gone to, the actual Mania. As a kid, I went to tons of house shows at Vets Auditorium. I saw Yokozuna and Bret Hart in a steel cage match where Yoko could barely get through the doorway. That was pretty wild. I went to a great Ring of Honor show in 2006 up in St. Paul. And on that show, had a very, very underrated, you don't hear much about it. It was Nigel McGuinness and Brian Danielson in a 60-minute draw that actually was 74 minutes long. But
dang, dude.
Shank, the farthest I've traveled would we talked earlier. I've driven in the car from Des Moines to Atlantic City, New Jersey. That's driving, and then I've been down to Tampa, Florida. That's flying. So.
Yeah, come on, Shank. We were already there, bud. What are you
Hey,
doing?
now
Oh,
come
Shank
on!
was
Now,
working out. He was working
He's
out.
working out. He's doing his birthday stuff. I don't know, doing push-ups.
You said you don't work anymore on Tuesday, Shank, and that you're
Yeah.
going to be here from start to end. Okay, buddy? You know, I like to ask that question because I went to 28 Midnight in Miami, and I'm a huge Rock Mark. So being there when he beat Cena and feeling like that stadium shake, like I could relive that moment in my head all the time, and it's just still just an amazing moment.
I will say the very best match I've seen in person at an event was also during the pandemic, and it was in a I don't know if you guys know Niles Plunkett or Craig Kiesman is the wrestling name, but he has a winery down in Osborne, Missouri, and Jeremy Wyatt and Fred Yehai had a 60-minute match inside his barn in one of his training rings in front of only like 15 of us, but they streamed it live. It was a fundraiser thing. And it was incredible. Like, I couldn't believe it was that good. So, and that's still out there. I think it's on St. Louis Anarchy's YouTube channel. So I highly recommend that. So.
What are chicken chores
at home?
What's that?
He's picking the eggs. He's giving them the feed.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
you got chickens, man. That egg market's you're making big money right now.
Right? Yeah, that's not no lie. That's not no lie. How was it for you, Captain Midnight, going through that pandemic era during the wrestling for the wrestling world?
I mean, it was heavily. I was falling more on the end of understanding why we were shutting things down and all that, but it was definitely disappointing because I was the start of 2020 was really those first 3 months. Some of my top bookings and career moments had happened, and then it all shut down very quickly there.
Yeah,
and so that was a real bummer because I had really committed myself to really trying to make a bigger name for myself that year in wrestling, but it all just as life circumstances worked out. It's all worked out to where, if anything, I'm winding it down a little bit now, but I'm having a lot more success in my overall personal life, and so I'm kind of, in hindsight, it was a grateful thing, but it was very tough at the time because it was, and then just even if you try to watch wrestling as an escape, the no fan wrestling, I was not into that whatsoever. So it was honestly it just bummed me out to watch it most of the time. So
yeah, dude, that was a rough time. That was probably why I haven't jumped back to watching like Monday Night Raw religiously. In all honesty, still don't. I just catch like the Hulu hour-and-a-half version the next day.
Yeah, I generally watch. I'll try to watch some of AEW live as it happens, but a lot of it's dictated by my kids and when they're going to bed and things like that. And I always try to watch like the different highlights and things like that of different shows. But
do you have a preference, AEW versus WWE at all?
Why you start?
I mean, that's not a controversial. I would say in ring, I enjoy watching AEW a little more, but I will say more recent WWE, I really enjoyed too very much. So
yeah, they seem to be hitting a stride lately. It's been way more interesting to get back into WWE the last few months. So I think
wrestling gets a lot more fun when you try not to. I was very cynical as a teenager and into my early 20s, picking everything apart. Now I just don't try to pick any of it apart and just kind of take it for what it's worth. And I found the stuff that's most successful is I'll ask my kids what they like about different shows. If they have, like, sometimes they'll watch pay-per-view stuff with me. And like the stuff my kids remember is like Brock Lesnar throwing Austin Theory off the elimination chamber.
Yeah.
I learned that guy used that tractor and lifted up the ring. That was so cool. So.
Also, it's not pay-per-views; it's premium live events. So,
yeah, okay. Sorry. My apologies to the cable. Some of us still are trying to support the cable industry, I guess.
Sorry about that. Yeah, you know what? I shouldn't have said it. You're right. That was my fault. I should have known better.
I know
but
it's
obviously,
a premium live event, but who the hell? That's That's why it took 10 years for people to not call it the WWF too. So
True.
that is true. Yeah, especially the casual outside the business. That I think even I still hear WWF a bunch as far as people who, oh, you mean you're part of that WWF stuff? Sure. Yep.
Oh.
I'm part of the World Wildlife Fund.
I like Peacock as a service. I think the setup for the network's actually quite poor on there as far as if you try to go back and search for certain things. But
it feels very limited.
What else are you watching on Peacock right now?
Oh, I watch a lot of Premier League soccer.
Yeah, okay, good.
I'm a Fulham fan, which happens to be the team that Tony owns from AEW, Tony Khan.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, go Fulham. Watch a lot of.
Well,
what else have I been?
They're not Premier League this year, though.
They are. Yes, they are.
No,
back. Yeah, they're in 8th place right now. Actually, 7th.
Oh wow.
They were near. They were in 5th, and they're doing well this year.
Well, look at me being an asshole again. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, should we mark that on the tape too for the highlights?
Yeah, 2 times tonight, guys.
I don't understand because they actually were in the what they call the championship level before that for a long time, and then they made it back this year, and they've done really well for themselves.
So here's a question, though. Obviously, you bring up the championship. Are you watching Ted Lasso? Have you watched it?
I think that's a great show. Yeah, and then it comes back tomorrow.
It does.
Apple TV Plus.
Hell yeah!
Now, do you go week by week watching the episodes, or you wait till all the way to the end of the season and then just watch them through?
The previous 2 I watched kind of all at once, but that was an option. I think I'll have to go week by week at this point. So,
all right,
that's a great show. Yeah,
it really is.
It's too bad it's gonna be last season, but
is that what they said?
Yep, 3 seasons, they're done.
Man, Cobra Kai's wrapping up too. That's a bummer.
Cobra Kai, I mean, they really made people thought they would overstay their welcome. They've actually kind of made it work out okay. So
yeah, well, now they're making a movie too.
Oh, are they? Okay,
I think so. So that might be like the end of it all, is that movie. But man, that show, it's the only reason I had Netflix was Cobra Kai. Love it.
Thanks, Ace. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not as caught up as you are with it, but it's.
Yeah, no, I know. Do you get into the MLS at all? I know.
Yeah.
Way better.
I'm one of those marks that actually bought the Apple TV package for it this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a Sporting KC fan. They're a frustrating team, but it appears they'll have the same coach for quite a while now, which is whatever. But I've been to their stadium. It's a great stadium in Kansas City. I actually saw the U.S. men's team play there. It was fun.
Nice, dude.
But yeah, so I really like MLS. I saw up there in Minnesota, they were playing on the snow last week.
They were. Have you made it up here to a game?
I've not, but actually my brother lives really close to the stadium they built just 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
And and I know he goes, and we've made plans to try to go together this summer at some point.
It's a beautiful stadium, and they
really
tried to eradicate all of the homeless that lived in that block.
Yeah, the Midway area of St. Paul is kind of not dangerous, but it's filled with a lot of people who make it feel very dangerous.
It's the armpit of the Twin Cities.
They're all old AWA fans, Burns people.
Yeah, that is all Burns people.
Yeah.
That stadium is beautiful, though. You'll have a blast. I love going there for games. It's fun. The United games are a really good time. I bet Kansas City is even better, though. Like, man,
those fans are passionate.
Yeah,
they get into it down there. I'd like to also go see a Seattle game because
that would be pretty wild. So
the loudest team ever, dude. That's So did you get into the World Cup when that was on then over the winter break?
Oh yeah, I was way into it. So
I love it.
I watch. I don't know if I watch anything more than wrestling, but I watch a lot of soccer, a lot of MMA, and then I coach like youth soccer and stuff like that. Too, so.
Nice. I used to coach it too.
Do you wear the captain's hat when you coach soccer?
That's one of the few times I don't have it on. Yeah, I would say that. So.
I would. You know what? Honestly, I would love to see a picture of that.
I think it would be the kids I coach are often like 5 or 6 years old. That'd be so distracting to them. I've got so many distractions to deal with anyway, like just them touching the ball or not crying or things like that. So.
Yeah.
Sport can be like that.
What do your kids think about? Do they ever see Dad on like TV at his shows or come to his show and see Dad in action?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I don't think they even make a connection necessarily. I think they look at the captain and Dad as very separate entities, which is probably best for their overall development, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, I could really screw my kids up if they thought I was captain all the time, so.
Just in high school, like, man, I'm so tired of yacht rock. It's all the place.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm allowed to control my own radio in the car, we listen to a lot of that. But my God, I've been listening to a lot of Pokemon rap battles recently, and if you ever want to screw up your Spotify algorithm, have kids and let them choose sometimes. And then next thing you know, at the end of the year, they'll tell you your favorite artist, and it's the guy who did the Jungle Book soundtrack. So.
That's not great. Speaking of music and entertainment and as a whole, are you up for Branson Entertainer of the Year again this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my God, I'm the man who saved that whole town and entertainment district out of COVID. So I mean, it's like they just kind of give me the award. A lot of the great talent down there, and I'm not going to say I don't deserve it, but they've just died off. And so their options are a little more limited. It's either me or a bunch of cover artists and what have you and things like that. But yeah, I go down there and entertain. Yeah. So
Yakov Smirnoff still down in Branson?
What's that?
Yakov Smirnoff still down in Branson?
Oh yeah, he's still down there. He's on my belt right here too.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
Yakov, Andy Williams. Yeah. So
beautiful.
Yeah, I imagine they'll give me my own theater one of these days. They got a lot of empty theaters down there now. I should just go buy one and just name it after myself. So
do it.
Would it be the Midnight Theater or the Captain Theater?
Or the whole night? Main Event City. Midnight Guthrie presents Main Event City.
There it is.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, I do like Branson a lot. I like Silver Dollar City. It's a great place. And I used to think the nightlife was lame down there, and then now that I'm in an advanced age of my late 30s, I totally understand basically things shutting down about 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
It's my style. So.
Yeah, baby. Oh, I love it, dude.
Then on a hot night you can dip your toes into Lake Taneycomo.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Why did that sound so dirty coming out of your mouth, JR? I don't know why.
You have a sick fucking mind. That's
what. All the lakes down there got names like that, man. It makes you pause.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, then, JR.
Yeah.
Damn it, Tom.
Midnight's back, so I apologize. I'm just saying it sounded kind of dirty, especially the way this old man said it.
No. Midnight, again, it's been a pleasure having you on. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about this a few times. It's nice to get you actually on here. What do you have coming up? Let people know where they can see you, some future dates.
I know for sure I got coming up. I've got the 25th. I'll be in Waterloo, Absolute Pro Wrestling. That'll be a terrific card. I'll be doing I don't know exactly what I'm doing on the show. I'll be managing somebody who I know I'm not going to tell everybody yet. It'll be terrific. And then I got Madhouse Wrestling the end of April down in Knoxville, Iowa. That's a great venue if you haven't been down there. And then really from there, I got a wide open schedule. I got some stuff kind of planned for the summer, but not a lot of stuff kind of in motion still. So come out, see the captain. And this is a good time to see me. I will never say I'm retired, but I call it my semi-retirement. I'm winding down. I used to take bookings every weekend, and now I only do about 1 or 2 a month, and I go from there. So otherwise, I just live every day of my life as exciting as I can be. I wake up fired up, drives my wife crazy sometimes, but people need to get on my level.
Mm-hmm. So. Heard that before.
Amen.
Yeah.
All my social media at Midnight Guthrie. Follow me everywhere. I mean, any sort of app you use, I'm on there at Midnight Guthrie. I'd love your follows. I got a lot to say sometimes. I put a ton of promos up, things like that. So
there it is, guys. Make sure you follow him on everything. Go check him out. We and Tom will also be in Waterloo on the 25th, so you can see all three of us. I don't know what JR is doing. That's why we're not including him on anything. He may be a surprise if you show up at some of this stuff. And actually, I don't know what either one of you are planning, but you can also catch me with Captain Midnight in April 29th at the Madhouse as well.
It's on my schedule, so
there you go. It's gonna be we got a big year coming for Madhouse too. So I know you'll get to do some more than just that April show. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, do you guys got shows coming up, boys?
I do.
Ooh,
I'll be at the big Beaver Island Brewing the Saturday. 2 shows now, 7 and 9. So.
Beaver Island Brewing?
Yes, St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Sounds like things get pretty wet there. You see what I did there? Yeah,
I do.
Tommy?
Well, obviously, you guys can see me on the 25th there in Waterloo. And then April 15th, I'm in Altura, Minnesota. And then the following weekend, Friday, I'll be in Coon Rapids for the OG Comedy Show at the North, followed by my next stop up at Beaver Island on the 22nd. So,
all right, good
job,
there you go.
Guys.
Steady booking. It's way to go.
Perfect. And then we've got Badger Calhoun, who, again, if you didn't watch the show from this last weekend with Absolute, watch it alone for Badger Calhoun's commentary.
Man, I've heard a lot of commentary, and he's legitimately very terrific for being so new to this.
Exactly.
I've liked him for a long time. I liked him when he was the bit of time he was a wrestler too, and I'm glad he's still involved with wrestling as much as he can. He's a terrific commentator, and I've worked with a lot of commentators that are just really bad, but he is not one of them. He is good.
Right?
He's very good.
Exactly. I just tried to stay out of his way this last weekend. So he'll be joining us as we preview that Waterloo show. I'm very interested to see who you're going to be with, Captain. I know it's a big secret, so I'm ready to know. Could be the main event. Maybe it's a different match that we see Captain Midnight.
Well, I'm not gonna spill anything. So
all right. Well, we're gonna.
What kind of strategy would that be? Jesus Christ!
That's right.
True. So make sure you guys join us next week. We'll have that show with Badger Calhoun as well.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I've had a good time with all of you, even Tom. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, you're welcome back anytime there, Captain.
Thanks to whoever HCW Sports is. I enjoyed this guest very much, too. Thank you.
There you go.
Beautiful.
All right, nice. Danny, we'll see you later there, buddy. And August 30th. Okay, maybe there's something going on up there we can try to see you at or something.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right.
Thanks again to all of you for hanging with us and for the hype train, all the support. And we'll see you next week for a preview of APW. Bye-bye.